Hello everyone, this is Srinivai from Acceldata Customer Success, and in today's video we'll discuss about scheduling in ADOC. The topic of the today's video will be as below. We'll start with understanding what are schedules in ADOC. Then we will quickly move on to the demo on we could schedule, how we could we enable scheduling in policies and data source crawlers. And then I'll also explain to you how can we use scheduling, how can we do scheduling via APIs, and for that we'll be using Postman as the interface for explaining the APIs. So what is ADOC scheduling? In Acceldata ADOC, scheduling refers to how and when data quality checks, metadata ingestion, profiling, and anomaly detection could be run automatically on our data assets. We can schedule data quality rules, metadata syncs, profiling jobs, data anomaly jobs, etc. Having setting defining a schedule on on the assets in ADOC helps us to prevent user intervention and also allows us to run the scans or jobs without any user intervention. Now let's move on to ADOC UI and see how can we basically schedule any objects. So let's start with data crawlers. So let us select any of the data sources. So we have a data. I have created a data source for a data source for Snowflake, and I'll be showing this, and I'll be using the existing Snowflake data source to explain how can we schedule these crawlers. So let us edit the configuration. Moving on to the next tab, you can see a Snowflake data source has been created, which points to the Snowflake instance here. We'll give it a moment for the test connection to complete. Okay, going on to the next tab. So here, uh, you could see you could set a schedule on both computability and data reliability. So based on whenever the schedule for Snowflake polling or Snowflake crawler execution is scheduled, based on that we will based on that ADOC will automatically run the crawling job to either refresh the data reliability or the Snowflake components. Under the crawler option, we can select when do we want to set the schedule on. You could run it like say every minute. You could run it every hour, and you can also select at what intervals of hour that we want to run it. We could also run it every day, once every week, and which particular day of the week. So there are various combinations that you could assign, uh, and uh, uh, and you can select when would you exactly want to schedule these jobs. So scheduling is these jobs is actually happens based on the data refresh of the data in on your data source end. So based on that, we could actually determine the right option or the right scheduling option for your data sets. Let me submit it for the time being. And this is how we can set schedule for the crawlers. Now, we could also you could also schedule uh, uh, the data policy or the data scan run. For that, let's select any of the existed data source that is scanned. I'm selecting this table called customers, and within that we have multiple policies already created. I'm just selecting one policy out of it. We could view the policy, and within the policy summary tab you could see an option called summary and schedule and incremental check. It's not configured. Let's edit the policy and have a look at the various options. Clicking on the same, So you could enable the toggle icon for scheduling this policy. So again, the scheduling options are quite similar. You could schedule it every minute, every hour, every day, or every week. You could also set the time zone based on which you could schedule. We could set the schedules on, um, and if you could also have multiple, like say for example, in a particular day, particular hour, you could schedule it at a particular like say 15th minute of every hour or 10th minute of every hour. Or you could also say select a particular day and select when exactly at what hours, like say you could add hours. So if you want to say run it at 1:30 every day and also at 5:30 every day, this is a scheduling option that needs to be used. So this is how we can actually schedule the crawlers and data policies to refresh the data from the source. I'll also bring out the postman so that we could discuss how we can basically use API calls to schedule to basically schedule the runs. Say actually API call do not we do not have an option in particular to say schedule uh, to s- to s- to schedule data source via API. So we don't have a designated API call which basically can schedule a particular uh, a crawler option or a data policy. Rather, we could use the update. We could use the update API for data quality policy or update API for data source crawlers to edit and add the scheduling options. Alternatively, if you do not want to say if you do not want to update the existing data caller setup or the data policy setup, then you could always use the start crawler API to start the crawlers. This is the API call for the same. You could also use the execute data policy API to execute the data policy, and also you could use the start profiling API call to start the profiling. So what we could do is basically we could use this API call within the curl command and wrap it within a code and maybe a simple Python or a shell script, and then schedule it within your cron job, or maybe schedule it using any other third-party schedulers, so that we could actually run this uh, crawling job or a data policy scan based on a particular time interval, or within a, if you are using it within orchestration tool, maybe we can also use it to we can also schedule it in such a way that to 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 proceed or succeed a particular event. Going back to the slides again. So this was a quick video on using schedulers in ADOC. We encourage you to share your questions with us via the comments on this video. If you don't see any response to your comments, let's continue the discussion or the conversation on the discussion forums in Acceldata network portal. You could actually connect to us to discuss on how to design the schedule, what would be the implications of scheduling a particular job at a particular frequency, what would be the right scheduling intervals, etc. Feel free to connect to us on the Excel Data Network portal, and we can help you with all your questions. Thank you, and have a great day.